Hello. Welcome to another Bubble video. In this video, we're going to be going through exactly how to build a per seat billing model using Bubble and Billflow and Stripe. So just to kind of get started to show what we're going to be building, I'm going to demo what the finished product is going to look like. We have here a basic freemium flow where you first got to just sign it up and then you get access into the app. This could either be a paid upfront model or freemium flow, doesn't really matter. I chose freemium because that's the one I like the best. In this example, we're gonna have it set up so you get 3 team members invites, 3 invites free for team members. And then after the first 3, you have to pay per team member. So let's go ahead and invite our first 3 team members. There's team member number 1. These are some great team members. They have really complicated names, don't they? All right, so there's our 3 team members. Now when I click invite one more time, it's gonna tell me I reached my maximum users. Let's upgrade. So I'm gonna click upgrade. It's gonna bring up the Billflow plan picker. We have a $10 per user per month plan. We're gonna pick it. We're gonna purchase, let's say 3 or 4. We're gonna go with 4 additional users for $40 a month. And we're gonna put in a test card, good old 42, and put in that. We're gonna confirm, and this is going to actually do a checkout process, which will send a Stripe webhook to Bubble, telling the app to update the number of team members we can have. So when I go back to team now, I'm able to invite more users, and let's invite 4 more. These are great users. I'm sure they're all going to be very productive members of my team. And then after the 4th one, it's going to say we need to update more. And we could obviously remove a couple because we don't like those ones. And then add more. All that is all part of the functionality. And at the end of the day, this is kind of the functionality we want to build. And I'm going to show you exactly how to build it. Let's get started, shall we? All right, so our Stripe configuration is going to be very straightforward. Let's go ahead and just create a brand new product here. We're going to call it per seat pricing. And to get Billflow working, we're going to need to add a couple pieces of metadata. So we're just going to call it per seat example. That's here, seat. Let's add SB tier equal to basic. And then one last thing, to get the quantity working, we need to do SB quantity enable true. These are going to be used by Billflow to help configure things. And then let's go ahead and just add a label to it called user. That way our embeds are going to pick it up. And I'll set up the actual price. So in the example we did $10. Let's do that again. Just keep everything the same. And then let's save the product. All right. I have to enter my password. All right, so now that that's done, we're going to go into Billflow, and let me go ahead and the key here is we're going to create a plan picker. Now, as I said before, this is for the freemium model. If you want to actually have them check out like the quantity of users they're going to use up front, so like have them go to a pricing page and then say I want like 10 users, do a checkout right then and there, you would want the pricing embed or the checkout embed. But because this is a freemium model, we want it to be a signed up user in-app to go ahead and purchase their plan after they've used up their first 3 free users. We do the plan picker. So I'm going to go ahead and scroll down. We see here, this is the service I created, per seat example. And it should pop up right here, yeah. And what I want to do is make this able to be portaled. So show customer portal for subscribers. That's going to make it so our customers can access their subscription details. And everything else we can pretty much keep default in that section. The one last thing is in checkout settings. We want to let our customers select quantity. We can set, we can set a number there for now. We're going to change that later. And then let me make sure portal, let customers update quantity. So we want them to be able to update their quantity there as well. Everything else we can leave kind of out of the box. Let's save this. And Then we get to the bubble side of things. So to get started, I'm just going to go get right into our database. What you see here is the billing starter kit template. There'll be a link to the description in it. It makes getting this set up a lot easier. You don't need it though. You can use your own application. But just to get started, we just need 2 new fields on our user table. And this is a very basic implementation of per user billing. So for more advanced ones, you can have customers linked to, or users linked to companies or tenants, depending on how your architecture is. For this architecture, we're going to have everything based on the user table, just to let you all know. So we're going to just be creating a member of column, point that to the user field. This means that any team member of this user that we would be looking at would be members of that user. So you'll see how it works when we start getting into the team page. The second field we need is the team allocation field, which is going to be a number representing how many team members this user is allowed to invite. We're going to default that to 3 because we want all new users to have 3 free invites in this example case. Once we have that set up, you just need to make sure, one, you have the Billflow Stripe Made Easy plugin installed. That's a requirement for getting this set up. Once you have that all ready, let's go ahead and just create the team page. So I'm just going to go ahead and create a brand new page, going to call it team. And to get this rolling, we're just going to drag in a repeating group here. And for that group, we're going to be listing users. And in order to get this list of users, we want this list to be the list of members of the current logged in user. This is the page the admin is going to go on to invite or remove team members. So we're going to search for users, and the constraint we're going to be using is user is going to be a member of the current user. So the logged in user, we're going to query the users that are members of that user, and that will give us the full list of users. Now let's just add some fields in here. So let me set the rows to 10. Rows 10. I'm going to just add in some text here. We're going to make this just the email. So current cell users email, so we'll list their emails, add a button just like in the example that is for removing the user. Let's do a little bit of basic styling here. If you can't tell, I am not a design-minded person, so this is going to be very rough looking. Obviously, you can make this look however you want. All right, so we're going to need a button here for inviting a new user. Invite team member. All right, and now let's add some pop-ups for this functionality. We're going to call this one the invite pop-up, and we're going to put in this box here a form, very basic email form. So it's going to just be email, content type email, standard input. We'll create a button for inviting that user. Invite, send invite, that sounds good. All right, so again, you can make this however you want. A key thing here is just being able to invite users. All right, and then we just need one more pop-up, and this is going to be the upsell pop-up, basically saying you ran out of members, you need to upgrade your account. Invite limit reached. Please upgrade to have more invites, whatever wording you want. And then we'll put a nice link in the middle of the page. Go to billing to upgrade, and we'll point that to our subscription portal, which is going to be the Billflow subscription portal. And we'll turn that into a nice blue link because blue is better, right? All right. So that's that. Now that that's done, let's go ahead and add some workflows in here. so let's go from the top. Let's create the remove button workflow. Just click edit. We will delete thing. The thing we delete is the current sales users. This is the easiest way to do this. Obviously, you can have more complicated logic where the user gets unadded to an account and it can still exist without being connected. But just for simplicity's sake, we're going to make this just delete the user. Let's go back to our page. Let's get some pop-up showing and hiding functionality. This is probably the more complex part, actually. So we need two actions to happen here. One to show the invite user pop-up. Show, oh, I forgot to name the other one. Upgrade pop-up, whatever. So invite pop-up, show invite pop-up only when, and this is the key, we're going to want to show invite if they have slots open. If they have run out of slots, they need to be shown the upgrade pop-up telling them, hey, you got to pay us more money. So we want to search for users. We want to do the same exact query we do where we check to see the member of equal to current user. That'll get us the members of this logged in user. And we want the number of this. And if the number is less than the current logged in user's allocated team number, so this means that they are allowed to invite more, show the invite pop-up. Now, just to get the reverse, we're going to copy this action, make another one, and we want us to show pop-up B, which is the pay us more money pop-up. Search for users count, and we want to change this less than to be a greater than or equal to. And then that's it. That will get us this functionality the way we want it to be. So now that that's done, the last thing we need to do is add the invite user functionality. So what we can do is just open up invite pop-up, this send invite button. Let's create a workflow for that. And we want to create an account for someone else. We want to create an account and we want the email to be the input emails value. And then the last thing we really need to do is set member of equal to the current user. That will set this new invited user to be a team member of the logged in user. So that's that. And then you can, if you want, right, oftentimes you want to send them an email. So you can either just send an email and put whatever content you want in there, or what I would personally do is I would actually send a password reset email. This will basically, you want it to be this results email. Basically, the account you just created, you can send them a password reset email, and this will let them set their password and actually give them the ability to log in later. Otherwise, you'll have to set up this kind of flow some other time. And you can make this body however you want. At the end of the day, it'll give them a link to press, it'll let them set their password, and you will be good to go. Right, and then the last thing you want to basically do is just hide the pop-up. So this is just some boilerplate. Hide invite pop-up. So that'll make it disappear, and then you can see the page again. Right, so let's go ahead and test to make sure we got everything working the way it should be and move on to the actual billing part of this whole thing. So let's go ahead and preview this. Okay, so I'm going to be brought here. The team page is going to probably read. Let's go back and sign up. We need to be logged in. So let's go through the onboarding flow. I'm going to be using the freemium model. So for this example, we're just going to create a new email here. All right, let's sign them up. And then let's go to the /team page. I didn't create a button for it. All right, so we should be able to invite 3 team members, just like I had in my example. There's one. Whoops, I accidentally pressed it twice. That's fine. It gave me an error like it should have. We're going to send another invite to a new user, and then one last invite. All right, and then the next time I press this button, it should say invite limit reached. That's exactly what we want to see. And it's going to say go to billing page. We haven't set this up yet, so this is not going to be the correct billing page yet. But this is what we're going to be doing next, is setting up the billing flow. All right, so for the last part of this whole process, we need to just connect everything together and set up the billing flow. In order to do that, you should have already the Billflow Stripe Made Easy plugin installed. And what you're going to need is, for this, you're going to need a plan picker. Now, if you're using a paid upfront model, you probably should just be using the subscription portal, but because we have freemium in this example, we're going to be using a Billflow plan picker. And once you drag that in there, what I want you to do is to go back into your Billflow, and in step 1, we had created a plan picker billing page. And now we're going to come back to that. We're going to copy this code for the bubble embed, and in this configuration JSON, you're just going to paste it in there. And we're going to add one little detail, which is to set the minimum amount of invites that you can be set, because we never want our users to have less than their current team size. So if you have 5 team members, you should never be able to decrease that number below that. Otherwise, you don't want to give them free users, and this will prevent that. So in order to do that, we're going to do a search for users. We're going to do the common query of member of equal current user. And then what we're going to do is take that count, and we want it to be -3. So we're going to take count and then -3. That's because we always give them 3 free users. And we don't want those free users put into the calculation. Right, so once you have that set up, we just need to set up a basic subscription creation workflow. So when the user actually does create their subscription, we want to register all their Stripe data in the user table. So we go into here, create a workflow. When a billing page plan picker subscribes to a new subscription, we are going to make changes to the current user. They're going to undergo changes, like get the Stripe customer ID in there. Yeah, and we're going to start feeling the Stripe subscription ID. Just like that, we'll pull all that data. And there's obviously, you can do things like get the subscription tier. If you have a multi-tiered app, this works for that as well. So this will get the tier that they subscribe in. And then really all you have to do then is, the last thing to do is, well, no, that's it. So that's all you really need to set up at a bare minimum. Obviously, you can take whatever fields you want, like subscription status, if that's important to you. I mean, it is for most people. So once you have those fields set up, there's one last step, which I'm not going to cover the setup for, which is setting up Stripe webhooks. What I will show you is how I have it configured. So there'll be a link in the description and in the corner for my setting up Stripe webhook video on how to set up Stripe webhooks to be connected to your Bubble app, so your Bubble app knows whenever things happen in Stripe. So let me go ahead and show you. So what Stripe webhooks are triggered in backend workflows in Bubble, and we have our Stripe subscription update here. And oh, this is from my previous one. Basically, what you want to do is have it so the on subscription update or create, we're going to set the team allocation equal to the request data's quantity, and we're going to do something +3 because we want that quantity to be whatever you pick in your plan picker. So like say you pick, I want to pay for four invites, 4 users. We want to add 3 to that because we're giving him or her 3 free invites. I mean, this is just an example. You can have it set up however you want. If you don't want them to get free users or whatever, you can remove that. It's all up to you. This is just for this example. Anyways, once you do that, you go into Stripe. I've already set up the webhook here, so all I do is point this Stripe webhook at that backend workflow in Bubble. And you want to trigger it on subscription updated and subscription created. And if you do that, everything should be set up and we should be ready to do a full end-to-end test and conclude this video. Let's go ahead and give it a go, shall we? I'll do this right now. So I have here, I'm going to refresh my app. I'm going to go through the freemium flow and we should see it all working. So I'm going to use the app before paying. We're going to sign up. And feel free to just leave a comment if you have any questions or want to expand upon this specific use case. I'm going to go to my team page. I'm going to fill up my first 3 free invites. So we're gonna have some creative emails here. Bob1. All right, I invite Bob2. Got the Bob Army here, and then Bob3. And then it's going to boot me to the billing page. So go to billing for upgrade. Now we're going to go to that page we just created. We're going to subscribe. So select plan. I'm going to pick my quantity. We're going to purchase 3 users, meaning we have a total of 6 we can invite on top of the 3 we purchased, because we get, again, in this example, we have 3 free ones. I'm going to go ahead and complete this checkout. And you can have this flow however set up you want. So if you want to redirect them to their team page, redirect them to their dashboard after this, that's all good to go. But by default, it'll just show you your regular old subscription portal. This is the Billflow subscription portal, which is combined with the plan picker. That's why we did it that way, just so it's all on one page. I'm going to go back to my team now, and I'm going to I should be able to invite more now. See, so now we can invite, Bob 4, Bob 5, Bob 6, and then Bob 7 isn't going to be able to be invited because then I'll be hitting my limit again. So here we go. We cannot invite a Bob 7 because we're at our limit. I'm going to go back to billing, and I'm going to show you why we messed around with that minimum value. So now if I click update here, I cannot go below 3 because if I were, I would be getting free users, and we don't have a mechanism for kicking out users. So if I wanted to invite more without paying, I would have to go back to team, remove one, go back to my subscription portal, and now I should be able to reduce how much I'm paying by 1. See, I can go up to 2, but I can't go below 2. So that's kind of, in a nutshell, exactly how to set up per user billing in a Bubble application. Again, if you guys have any questions, just let me know in the comments or contact me on Twitter. But that's about it. I hope you all have a great rest of your day. It would help me a lot if you liked and subscribed to this video and channel. And hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.